gathering, as we gather to Canterbury, let us while away the hour with tale of love, wisdom, and adventure. Who shall start? Ah, noble knight, tell us a tale of love and honor.
Of course, I have one. This story is all about love and fighting in old Greece. Theseus, a duke, win and captures two knights, Palamon and Arcite. In prison, both knights see Emily and fall in love. They became rivals. Arcite gets free and became a servant to be near Emily. Palamon escapes too. The two knights fight over Emily in the forest. Theseus find them but let them have a big fight with many knights. Before the fight, they pray to God for help. Arcite wins but falls off his horse and dies. Before dying, he says Emily should marry Palamon. Theseus agrees, and Palamon and Emily marry. The story shows how luck, fate, and choices mix all together.
Wow, what a good captivating tale about love, honor, and chivalry. Now, let us hear about the tale of Good Miller. What tale do you have for us, good fellow?
Of course. Let me tell you of a story of a carpenter who has a very beautiful wife, but he was fooled by his wife.
John is a carpenter, and he has a young and beautiful wife named Allison. They live with a scholar named Nicholas.
Nicholas and Allison begins an affair with each other, but the parish clerk Absalom also wants Allison's attention, but he is rejected. And then Nicholas tricks John of a vision of a great flood, and that John should hang tops from the ceiling to see.
Silly John. And while John was sleeping and stuff, Allison and Nicholas are together.
And then the parish clerk Absalom tried to steal a kiss from Allison, but Allison broke him. He gave her butt, and then the parish clerk got really angry. Then he retorted to Allison with a hot iron.
Nicholas exposes himself for another prank, but Allison grabs him. Nicholas cried loudly, and he pulled John up. John thinks that the blood has gone because of Nicholas' cry, so he cut the ropes and falls. Silly John.
The tale is about the courtly love, full of lust, trickery, and humiliation.
Well said, good Miller. Now, let us our rave respond with a tale of his own.
Now, it's my turn. I will tell you a story about Millers, and he won't look good in it either.
One day, two smart students named John and Alan brought their game to his meal. They knew Simpkin's bad habits, so they watched him closely. But Simpkin was clever too. He secretly let their horse loose, and while the student chased after it, he stole some of their flour. By the time John and Alan came back, it was too late. Simpkin laughed to himself, thinking he had fooled them again, but the students had a plan for revenge. That night, Simpkin let them sleep at his house because it was late. But when everyone was asleep, John and Alan decided to get even. Alan quietly went to Millen's bed, the miller's daughter, while John slipped into the wife's bed. By a mistake in the dark, what a wild night it was. The next morning, the truth came out. Simpkin woke up and angry tried to fight the students, but they beat him up and ran away, laughing. And that's how the proud miller was tricked, just as he had tricked others.
Excellent. Now, let our cook, Roger, warms our heart with love and food. So, you've heard the Miller and the Reeve's tale. Now it's my turn. I will tell you about a young apprentice I once knew, a fellow from my own city. His name is Perkin Reveler, and he is lively lad. Perhaps he is too lively for his own good.
Perkin worked for a tradesman in London, but he cared little for his master's business. He loved the sound of music more than the sound of work. Every night he would dance, drink, and gamble till the break of dawn. His cheeks were always red from wine, his purse always empty from dice. Yet he laughed and sang as if the world's own in joy. His master soon grew tired of his foolish ways and said, "Perkin, you care more for your pleasure than your duties. You're no use to me." And with that, he sent the boy away. Now, Perkin went to stay with a friend whose wife was just as wild as he was. She loves the company of man, the taste of ale, and the thrill of sin. Together, they made quite the pair that both lost to their desires, both running down a path that led to ruin.
And that's where my tale ends. It is tough, unfinished, but it is better in that way.
Your tale had me craving for some. This time, let our learned man of law share a tale about justice and virtue.
Okay. I will share one story. So this story is all about a woman named Constance. She went through many hard times, felt a lot of pain, and was tested again and again. But she still held onto her faith.
Constance, daughter of the Roman Emperor, was known for her goodness. The Sultan of Syria heard of her and wanted to marry her, even agreeing to be baptized. She obeyed her father and sealed to marry a man she had never seen, trusting God. But the Sultan's mother betrayed them and killed all the Christians, including her own son. Constance was not killed but was sent away alone on a ship. She drifted for a long time and reached Northumberland, where a constable and his wife Hermegild cared for her. Hermegild turned to Christianity because of Constance's faith. A knight, angry at being rejected by Constance, killed Hermegild and blamed her. King Allah judged the case, but when the knight lied on holy books, he was struck dead, proving Constance's innocence. And praise King Allah married her. While the king was away, his mother Dungald sent false letters saying the baby was evil and ordered Constance and her child to be sent away. She was placed back on a ship with her son. She floated for years until Romans found her, but she had lost her memory and lived quietly, not knowing she was home. Later, King Allah came to Rome in sadness. He saw their son and knew him. When he met Constance again, her memory came back. She was reunited with her father, the emperor. King Allah died soon after. Constance stayed in Rome, and her son later became emperor.
Okay, and that's how the end of the story. After all the hurt, the long day at sea, and all lies told about her, Constance finally found her peace.
Your tale is a powerful exploration of faith, perseverance, and redemption. Now, let our wife of Bath take the stage.
Let me tell you a story. It happened in the days of King Arthur when magic still danced in the woods and fairy roam freely. There was a young knight in King Arthur's court, handsome but arrogant.
One day, he did something truly shameful. He forced himself on a maiden, and for that crime, he was sentenced to death. Queen Jennifer and the ladies of the court begged the king to let them decide his fate. They gave the knight a year and a day. What is it the woman must desire? If he found the right answer, he'd live. If not, off with his head. So the knight went wandering, asking every woman he met. He was desperate. Finally, the years was nearly up. On his way back to court, he saw a hideous old woman sitting alone in the woods. He told her his problem. She said, "I know the answer, but I'll only give it to you if you promise me a favor." He agreed, desperate to live. So off they went to court. And when he gave his answer, what woman's most desire is to have sovereignty over their husbands and lovers, to be in charge of their own lives. The court applauded. He was right. He was free. But when the old man reminded him of his promise, her favor, marriage. Yes, she wanted him to marry her, ugly and poor as she was. But he had given his word, so he married her miserable. She gave him a choice. Would you rather have me old and ugly but loyal and good, or young and fair, bad? With the rest, I might stray? He thought for a moment, then said, "You chose, my lady, whatever you think best. Because you've given me the choice, I'll be both young, beautiful, and faithful."
And just like that, she transformed into a lovely young woman, and they live happily ever after.
You're a true icon, good wife. This time, let our merry friar respond with a tale of his own.
And now, I will tell you a story of a summoner who is greed and sinner.
One day, a corrupt summoner, traveling to extort money, meets a man dressed as a human. They quickly bond over the shared love of this honest prophet. The human then reveals he is actually a demon from hell, unfazed, and summoner suggests they become partners in crime, which the demon agrees to. The summoner attempts to extort money from a poor, innocent widow. In terror and desperation, the widow curses him sincerely. When the demons ask if she truly means the curse, she firmly confirms it. Since the curse was sincere and against a truly wicked person, the demon immediately seizes the screaming summoner and drags him down to hell.
And with that, the friar ends his tale, leaving with the pilgrim shocked and the summoner red with anger.
You're a sly one. Thank you for that. Now, let the summoner take the stage and respond to Friar's tale.
I feel disrespected by what you said, Mr. Prior, but I will not let you disrespect us. Now, I will tell a story about a greedy, hypocrite prior from your tribe. He goes from town to town asking people for money, and he keeps it for himself.
One day, the prior visited a sick man named Thomas. Poor Thomas was lying in bed, angry because that friar kept asking for gifts and prayers. Yet, nothing ever changed. But Thomas had enough. He groaned and said, "I will give you something, Father, but promise to share it with all your brother friars. The prior smiled greedy as ever and bent closer to hear what Thomas would give him, and then Thomas let out the loudest fart you could ever imagine. He told the Lord everything. The Lord laughed so hard, he nearly fell off his chair and said, "Well, friar, maybe you can divide that fart among your brothers. Let each other take a share." Everyone laughed except the prior.
And that, my friend, will happen to you if you act holy but live in greed.
Your words are like a sharp arrow, piercing the heart of hypocrisy. I'm eager to hear more. Now, let the learned clerk share a tale.
I shall tell a story. I learned this story in Italy. This story is all about love, patience, and loyalty. This is all about Griselda and Walter.
A long time ago, there lived a marquis named Walter. He was a strong ruler, but he had no wife. His people begged him to marry, so they would have a future heir. At last, Walter agreed. He chose a poor but kind woman named Griselda. She was gentle and humble. Before they married, Walter asked her, "Will you obey me in all things?" And Griselda answered, "Yes, my lord, with all my heart." They married and everyone celebrated. But Walter wanted to test her love. When their child was born, Walter told Griselda the baby must be taken away. Her heart was broken, but she did not protest. She trusted his will. Then came the hardest test. Walter told her he would marry another woman and asked her to prepare for the wedding. Griselda, with a heavy heart, served him faithfully just as before. At last, Walter ended his cruel test. He brought back the children, revealed the truth, and asked for her forgiveness. She forgave him and showed great patience and love. Walter made his wife again, and they lived in peace.
This, my friends, is the story of Griselda, a woman that patience is stronger than pain.
Your tale is a beautiful exploration of patience. Well done. Now, let our merchant share a tale of love and commerce.
Let me tell you a story about a wealthy merchant named January.
In Lombardy, there lived a rich old knight named January. After living a life of pleasure, he decided he wanted to marry a young and beautiful woman. He married May, a young woman much younger than him. But soon, after their wedding, January became blind. During his blindness, May secretly fell in love with Damian, one of January's young servants. One day, May helped Damian climb into a tree so they could secretly be together. At that moment, January suddenly regained his sight and saw them. May quickly made an excuse. She said she only struggled with Damian because she was told that the act would help cure January's blindness. Surprisingly, January believed her.
And that's the end of A Merchant Tale, a story of love, deceit, and blindness that lies not only in the eyes, but in the heart.
Your tale is both humorous and insightful, with a keen eye of human nature. Now, let's have our young squirrel to take the stage.
I would be glad to tell you a story. I may be young, but I will do my best. I will tell you a tale of a great king from the east, full of magic and adventure. And his name is King Kambuskan. And on his birthday, something truly amazing happened on his court.
Long ago, in the faraway land of Tartary, there ruled a wise and mighty king named Kambuskan. On his birthday, the court was filled with joy, music, and feasting. Suddenly, a mysterious knight arrived, carrying 4 marvelous gifts from the king of Arabia and India. The first gift is a brass horse that could fly anywhere in a single moment. Second is a mirror that revealed truth and falsehood. Third is a ring that allowed the wearer to understand the language of birds. And the last gift is a sword that could cut through anything and heal as well. Everyone was amazed by these magical treasures and the wonders they promise. The next morning, Princess Kanasi, the king's gentle daughter, wore the magic ring and walked into the garden. There, she met a falcon, weeping in sorrow on a tree. Using the ring, Kanasi understood her cries and learned that the falcon had been betrayed by her false lover, a deceitful hawk. Moved by pity, Kanasi comforted the poor bird, cared for her wounds, and promised to help her heal.
And so, the squire's tale remained unfinished, a shining glimpse of youth, wonder, and noble dreams.
Oh, what a delightful tale. Now, let our Franklin share a tale of love and generosity. Let me tell you the story of Averagos and Dorigins, a couple who built love on trust and honor. But when fate tested them through distance, promises, and temptation, but their true virtue was revealed.
This tale tells the story of Averagos and Dorigin, a married couple who deeply love each other and promise to treat one another as equals. Averagos leaves for England to seek honor, and Dorigin becomes very sad while he's gone. One day, she talks to a young man named Aurelius, who secretly loves her. Jokingly, Dorigin says she will only love him if he can remove all the black rocks from the coast of Brittany. Aurelius is desperate and hires a magician to make the rocks appear gone through illusion. When Dorigin sees this, she becomes distressed because she made a promise she cannot keep. Averagos, however, tells her that she must honor her word even if it hurts him. The magician, moved by Aurelius' goodness, also forgives his debt.
The story of Franklin's tale shows that love, nobility, and comes from kindness, faithfulness, and keeping one's word. Thank you, Franklin. Now, let's move to another tale.
With honor, I shall. Let me tell you a sorrowful tale, not of jest or folly, but of virtue, injustice, and a father's painful choice.
The story is about a noble knight named Virginius, who was a beautiful and virtuous daughter named Virginia. She is admired by everyone for her goodness and purity. One day, a corrupt judge named Appius sees Virginia and desires her. Since he cannot have her honestly, he plans a wicked scheme. He orders a false witness, Claudius, to claim that Virginia is actually his servant who was stolen from him by Virginius. When Virginius appears in court, Appius unfairly rules that Virginia must be given to Claudius. Virginius knows this means his daughter will be taken and dishonored. Out of deep sorrow and love, he tells Virginia that it is better to die pure than to live in shame. Virginia bravely accepts her fate, and her father killed her. Virginius brings the dead body to Appius, who is soon exposed as corrupt. The people rise up in anger. Appius is imprisoned, and Claudius is punished.
Let all who hear it remember, virtue must be defended. Well said, physician. Now, let our pardoner take the stage and tell us a tale about morality. I will tell you that three rioters who sought to kill death with dire consequences.
The three men in Flanders spend their days drinking and gambling. One day, they learn that their friend has been killed by death. Furious, they vow to find and kill death. On their way, they met an old man who tells them that they will find death under a tree. When they reach the tree, they discover a pile of gold coins instead. Greed takes over their hearts, and they plan to wait until night to carry the gold home. The youngest goes to town and secretly poisons the wine so he can have the gold for himself. While he's gone, the other two plan to kill him when he returns. When the youngest comes back, the two stab him to death. Then they drink the poisonous wine and die as well.
At the end, the three rioters died, proving that greed leads to destruction. Well done, good pardoner. Now, let our shipman tell a story. Hey, good people, I've got a tale for you. One with full of tricks and deceit. It's a story of a merchant, a wife, and a monk.
This merchant, so rich and so fine, had a wife who loved to spin his gold in fine wine. But the monk, he was a cunning fellow. He'd visit the wife and whisper sweet nothings but to follow. He'd tell her of secrets and ways to deceive, and the wife, she'd listen with a smile and a heave. But little did the monk know, the wife had a plan to play him false and get the gold in her hand. And the monk, he was left with nothing to say.
Wow, a master of the sea and storytelling. Now, let prioress share a tale.
One speak that the heart of devotion and the power of faith. It is the story of a young boy's the love for Virgin Mary.
There was in Asia, in a great city, amongst Christian folk, a Jew, sustained by lord of that country, for foul usury and lucre of felony. A little child, a schoolboy of tender years, learned to sing All Martyrdom to his mother. As he went to school and sang it with devotion, praising the Virgin Mary with pure emotion. This little boy with innocence and guile sang sweetly, and his heart was full of love. For Mary, Mother of God, he did implore to keep him safe from harm and guide him evermore. And lo, the Virgin Mary did appear, and blessed him with a gentle smile so there, and said, My child, thy song hath reached mine ear, and I shall grant thee a special gift.
And that's how the story ends. May God bless us and keep us in His love.
Your tale is tender and moving. You're a true artist of the heart. And now, let's Chaucer share a tale of chivalry in his own peculiar way.
Listen, everyone. I am going to tell you a story
about a young boy who had an amazing dream.
Long ago, in the land of Flanders, there lived a young knight named Certepas. He was very handsome, strong, and loved by many people. His skin was white as milk, and his lips were red as a rose. He was skilled in hunting, riding, and fighting, the perfect knight. One night, Certepas had a dream about a fairy queen, and he decided that he would marry no one else but her. So he rode out on his horse to look for his fairy queen, traveling through forests and wild lands. While riding in the woods, he met a giant named Sir Oliphant. He shouted angrily and challenged him to a fight. But Sir Topas did not fight right away. Instead, he ran away as fast as his horse could go, saying he would come back another day to face the giant properly, once he had his best armor and weapons. When he returned home, he told his men to prepare for battle. He ordered them to make him a strong suit of armor made of fine cloth and steel. And he promised that he would defeat the giant to win his fairy queen.
And when the young boy is...
Well said, Chaucer. Now, let our moon share a tale of fortune and fate.
A tale that could teach the heart and as well as the mind. This is the tale of Mileby.
There once was a man named Mileby, a wealthy and respected man who lived peacefully with his wife, Prudence, and their beloved daughter. But one cruel day, while Mileby was away, 3 enemies broke into his home. They beat his wife and wounded his daughter so badly that she lay near death. When Mileby returned and saw his child bleeding, his heart filled with grief and rage. I could almost feel his fury burning. "They will pay for this," he cried. He gathered his friends and advisors, demanding vengeance, blood for blood, pain for pain. But then came his wife, Prudence, calm as the morning light. She looked at him and said softly, "My dear husband, let us not act in haste. Anger blinds judgment. Think first, seek counsel, not revenge." At first, Mileby could not bear to listen. How could she speak of patience when their child lay broken? Yet Prudence, wise and steady, spoke with faith. She reminded him that vengeance leads only to sorrow, that forgiveness brings peace, not shame. Finally, he chose mercy. He forgave his enemies and made peace with them. In that moment, Mileby won a greater battle, the battle within his own heart.
The story of Mileby had reminded us that true strength lies not in power or revenge, but in forgiveness and love.
I tell you a story. The Monk's Tale is a collection of short tragic stories told by a monk who believes that life is full of ups and downs, and that no one, no matter how powerful or rich, can escape the changes of fate or fortune.
The Monk's Tale is a collection of short tragic stories told by a monk who believes that life is full of ups and downs, and that no one, no matter how powerful or rich, can escape the changes of fate or fortune. In his tale, the monk does not tell just one story, but 17 short tragedies about people who once had great success but later fell into misery. Each story teaches that pride and power never last forever. He begins with Lucifer, the brightest angel in heaven, who fell because of pride and became the devil. Then he tells of Adam, who lived in paradise but lost it all through disobedience. Next comes Samson, the strongest man who was betrayed by Delilah and Hercules, the hero whose great strength could not save him from death caused by a poisoned rope given by his lover. The monk continues with Nebuchadnezzar, a proud king who was turned into a beast by God, and Belshazzar, who mocked the Lord and saw the writing on the wall that foretold his death. He also tells of Zenobia, a brave and proud queen who was defeated and humiliated by Romans, and Croesus, a rich king who thought he was the happiest man alive until fortune turned against him and he was executed. He includes the tragic fates of Julius Caesar, betrayed and killed by his friends Alexander the Great, poisoned in his glory, and Count Orlando, who starved to death in tower with his children.
And action.
No matter how powerful or rich, can escape the changes of fate and fortune.
What a delightful tale. And now, let our nuns praise share a tale of cunning and pride.
This tale it's all about a rooster, but this is not just a tale because it can teach us an important lesson.
Chanticleer is a proud rooster living on a farm with many hens, especially his favorite, Fertilo. One night, he has a frightening dream about a fox trying to catch him, but he ignores Fertilo's warnings. Soon after, a clever fox tricks Chanticleer by flattering his singing and then captures him. However, Chanticleer uses his intelligence to escape by asking the fox to open his mouth and to hear more singing, and then flying away to safety.
The story encouraged learning to be wise and cautious, and that's how the story ends.
Well done, good nuns press. And now, let our second nun share a tale of martyrdom and faith.
Okay, now, here is my story. Listen carefully. In ancient Rome, there lived a young noble woman named Cecilia. From a young age, she was deeply spiritual and secretly devoted her life to God, vowing to remain pure and never marry. But her parents had other plans. They arranged for her to marry a wealthy young man named Valerian. On her wedding night, Cecilia pulled him aside and said, "I have made a vow to God to stay a virgin. There is an angel who protects me, and he will harm anyone who tries to take that away from me." Valerian was shocked, but instead of being angry, he was curious. "If this is true," he said, "show me this angel." Cecilia replied, "You must be baptized first, then you will be able to see him." Valerian agreed. Cecilia sent him to a Christian priest named Pope Urban, who baptized him in secret. When Valerian returned, he saw the angel standing next to Cecilia, holding two crowns made of heavenly flowers. The angel placed the crowns on their heads, a symbol of their spiritual purity. Valerian told his brother Tiburtius what had happened. Tiburtius was skeptical at first, but soon he became a Christian and was baptized. Together, the brothers devoted their lives to helping Christians who were being persecuted by the Roman government, especially by giving proper burials to the martyrs. Eventually, the Roman authorities caught them. They were told to give up their faith or die. They refused and were executed. Cecilia was next. She was arrested and told to abandon her beliefs. She refused. The official tried to kill her by locking her in a steam-filled room, but she survived unharmed. Then, they tried to behead her. The executioner struck her 3 times but couldn't kill her completely. She was left bleeding but alive for 3 days. During those final days, Cecilia continued preaching about their faith, converting more people to Christianity. Before she died, she donated all her possessions to the poor and asked the priest Urban to continue spreading the message of God. Cecilia died a martyr, remembered for her bravery, her faith, and her unwavering commitment to her beliefs. Today, she is honored as a saint, especially by musicians, because legends says she heard heavenly music in her heart throughout her life. That was the story of Cecilia.
Well said. And now, let our canon's human share a tale.
Join me as we explore the tale of Canaan and his men, a story of deception, greed, and the pursuit of the secret that leads to ruin.
Freed from his master's presence, the new man confesses that alchemy is nothing but a deceitful dream. He explained how alchemists waste fortune and a secret experiment. forever chasing the illusions of gold. Then he tell a story. Another canon once full a goody priest. The canon pretended to turn base metal into silver using a trick. He secretly hid real silver in a piece of gold. The priest, amazed by the miracle, paid a great sum of the false secret. The canon talked money and disappeared.
Ended, alchemy promises riches, but brings only ruin. Let who hear beware its empty growth.
Bravo, canon human. And now, let our Mansipol share a tale.
Of course, I have a tale. This tale told a clever and witty character, masterfully weaves stems of love, power, and deception.
The Mansipol's tale is about a man named Phoebus, who was not only a great warrior and musician, but also a very handsome man. He had a beautiful wife whom he loved deeply and tried to protect by keeping her at home. However, Phoebus was also very jealous and didn't trust her completely. Phoebus had a white crow that could talk and sing beautifully. One day, while Phoebus was away, his wife was unfaithful and had an affair with another man. When Phoebus came home, his crow told him the truth about what happened. In a fit of anger, Phoebus killed his wife, but afterwards, he was filled with deep regret.
That was a story of Phoebus punishes the truth-telling crow by turning its white feathers black and silencing its voice, that no bird shall speak again.
Excellence! And now, let our parsons share a tale of penitence and redemption.
I will not tell a table or a tale of trifles. Such things offers no spiritual profits. Instead, I shall speak for the repentance for the soul's true journey, but not to Canterbury alone, but toward eternal salvation.
Pride, the root of all sin, must be conquered with humility and meekness. Envy is held by love, kindness, and compassion. Wrath is subdued through patience, gentleness, and self-control. Sloth, or spiritual laziness, finds its remedy in diligence and eagerness to serve God. Greed is cured by generosity and mercy. Gluttony is defeated through temperance, fasting, and moderation. And lust, the sin of desire, must be purified by chastity, restraint, and a pure heart.
Ended, remember, death, judgment, and the hope of heaven.
Well, dear pilgrims, our tales are told. Let us reflect on what we've learned and enjoy the rest of our journey to Canterbury.